Hey, what's up? This is Comic 95, the Savior, and for this video I really wanted to make somewhat of an updated version of an older video that I had. I recently got a comment on a video, shout out girl, I can't remember your username, but where someone had asked me about what they should pack for coming to Japan for a year. I've also gotten a couple of emails, but from a while back, which I honestly didn't respond back to, so I also wanted to address this because even like before these messages, I honestly thought about some things that I've kind of changed my mind on over time. I think any good and honest channel should realize that information does change, people change, opinions change, and I feel like my old video I kind of told you guys to overpack in some senses. So before we get started, I want to start off by saying that what you bring to Japan depends on a lot of factors about both yourself, the money that you have. So I would say first, you need to consider what you look like, such as your height and your weight. Second, you need to consider what you're coming to Japan for. Are you coming here as a student? Are you coming here for work? Are you coming here for both? Third, you need to consider the money that you're working with. What is your budget? Those are the three biggest factors that will determine, what you should bring here. And then number four, of course, how long are you planning to stay here? So once you decide all of those four things, you can kind of piece together what information is for you and what is not. I'm going to tell you about what you should bring, basically assuming that you're going to do two of the extreme options, meaning one, you're going to be here for a short period of time and go back home, and number two, you plan to be here forever. So both of these scenarios, while they're total opposites in one sense, they require you to pack the same way, meaning that you need to be taking the minimalist approach, meaning that you're bringing exactly what you need and nothing extra. If you are a girl watching this video is mostly for you. Sorry guys, I'm speaking from my perspective as a woman, but I would try to remember to throw in some guy stuff. Do keep in mind that this advice is pretty much neutral and goes across the board, but you will hear little things like about heels, makeup, etc. that doesn't apply to you, obviously. So just obviously scratch that out or think about things from a guy's perspective. So first things first, as far as clothing goes, again, take the minimalist approach, but do be mindful of things like your height and or your weight. If you are a tall girl, meaning that you are anything above about 5'2", really anything 5'3" and over, like myself, I am 5'3", you are going to find that you are, well, really tall in Japan. And while clothing will generally fit you, for example the sweater I actually got here in Japan, you will find that sometimes you'll have clothing that is a little bit, well, too short. This is not too short for me though. This is also not too small for me, but this is also a large sweater. So in the US, I would probably wear something more like a medium to large myself, but generally in Japan, I'm about an extra large to as big as a 2XL here. You also need to be real with yourself and decide what size really fits you. A lot of girls like to squeeze into things that are too tight for themselves. Guys do it too, and that honestly makes you look a lot bigger than you really are. It's a lot better to wear something that's big and baggy, like how what I'm wearing right now, than to wear something that is too tight and squeezing the life out of you. It just makes it look like you're too fat to find clothes that fit you. So really it's better to wear something that's really big versus something that's really small and tight. But I'm not teaching you how to dress yourself. I'm telling you what to bring for yourself. If I were you, my goal would be to avoid having to go shopping right away, so I would only bring a total of about maybe 6 to 8 outfits in all. This is assuming that your airline allows you to bring 2 checked bags and 1 carry-on for an international flight. I would bring 2 outfits that I can interview in and make sure that they're interchangeable, meaning that you can mix and match them. For example, having something like a black pencil skirt and having a pair of gray or navy blue dress pants with a white blouse. I can choose to wear that white blouse with my, dress pants, or I can wear it with my dress skirt. You can switch things up like that. I would also choose 2 cardigans. I would personally say that you should definitely have a black cardigan, but also choose 1 cardigan that has a nice bright color. For example, something that is yellow, pink, blue, something that kind of stands out, a pop of color. Again, these are items that can be switched around. There are very easy to find, cheap blouses, dress pants, etc. that you can get at stores like Uniqlo and GU that go up to larger sizes. Generally, you can only find clothing here up to about a size US 18, and that's pushing it, but for girls about a size 16. Guys, generally anything up to an extra large US size, you can buy it here. 1X and above, it's possible, but again, you're dealing with clothing that is really too tight, too small, and it's chancy whether you can find something or not consistently. So I would recommend that you bring something that you can mix and match as far as interview dress-like clothes go. You might think, oh, I'm coming here as a student, but you might want to work your part-time job, and you need something to wear for an interview. Next, you also want to consider bringing 2 to no more than 5 different casual outfits that you can wear to go to school or just handle your day-to-day life. You want these outfits to be super like basic, where you can once again mix and match the different pieces that you have. Very either neutral or solid like colors. It's okay to have a few things that are a little bit different, but again, you want it to be where you can mix and match these things. My goal is to not have it where you are in desperate, dire need to go clothes shopping. It's okay to go shopping, but again, you don't want to waste money that you don't have, especially if you're not going to be here long term. And if you're planning to be here long term, it's unlikely that the first place you stay at, you're going to stay at forever. Thus, you don't want to have a gazillion things to ship and move, and you're not going to have a lot of space if you're staying in a dorm or really any Japanese apartment, even my place. I don't have enough space for all of my clothes in my closet. While this apartment is bigger and nicer than my last one, the closet is actually a lot smaller. I've been in Japan for years, and yeah, I should downsize. I'm actually going to be having to downsize because I will be living together with my husband soon. So that's all another story. Anyway, you really want to be careful with how many outfits you bring for casual instances, casual affairs, etc., especially if you're planning to work, because the majority of your time you will either be at home, sleep, or you'll be wearing your work uniform and or work clothes. So don't overthink this area too much. I honestly have a gazillion different outfits, and I wear the exact same thing pretty much every day. I change my clothes more in my YouTube videos than I do in real life. I literally wash the exact same thing and wear it every single day, pretty much on end. I switch my clothes maybe 2 or 3 times at best throughout the month. Yeah, I'm serious. So 2 outfits to interview in, 2 casual outfits, and I would also suggest that you bring 2 pairs of pajamas, something that you can wear when it's hot, something you can wear when it's cold. You can generally buy pajamas here, but again, everyone has their own favorite thing from home. Maybe it's cheaper from home. And again, if you also happen to be a tall and or a big girl or guy, you definitely want to bring something from home that's more comfortable and that fits you properly and or appropriately, because you might have trouble finding things here. Height isn't normally so much of a big issue for girls unless you happen to be like 5'7" or taller. If you are like 5'5", 5'6", or like under, generally speaking, you don't have to worry about the length of Japanese clothing not being enough for you unless your arms are super long. But if you happen to be a girl that is, you know, very overweight, you're obese, etc., you have very large breasts, then in that circumstance, yes, you will find it more difficult to find clothing that fits properly, that's not too tight for you. So again, you might be thinking, oh my god, I'm so big, I'm so tall, I have to buy a gazillion clothes from home and stuff them in my suitcase. Wrong. You're not going to change your clothes that much. Trust me. You're going to end up wasting, space. Remember, your ticket is expensive. Think to yourself, do you really want to spend $2,000 to fly over your Walmart and Hot Topic wardrobe? Or would you rather wait till you get to Japan, decide what you really want, what you really need, and if need be, let's say you don't lose weight, you can always buy stuff and ship it to Japan at a later time. You don't need everything right now. You're not going to change your outfit every day. And the reality is, who's going to know, see, or care? You're going to see new people every single day. Nobody's keeping tabs on your clothes but you. So again, stick with solid colors. You want neutral things that you can switch around with your casual outfits. You want solid colors, neutrals you can switch around with your business outfits. I suggest having 2 of each. You want to make sure you have a cardigan, and also you want to make sure that you have a sweater, something that can be thrown over a, blouse or, a nice business casual type dress or whatever that you can switch up your outfit with. You want to have a sweater that you can wear, at least one. I would suggest something that is colorful personally, like mine's, but again, you don't have to choose something like mine's. It can be a solid color. It doesn't have to be a color blocking type thing like how mine's is. It can be a neutral color, pastel, whatever you personally prefer. Something that you can wear over a blouse that you can dress up or dress down, or something just for when it gets a little bit chilly. Again, these are all things you can buy in Japan, so don't stress out over it too much. You don't have to worry about clothes so much, again, unless you're really tall or really big or whatever. You're not going to change clothes a gazillion times. I can't stress that enough. You want to save space. You want to save money with shipping your stuff when you do move. And you want to make sure you have enough space for other things that you like and enjoy that you plan to buy here. You will find so many cute things once you come to Japan. You can buy things overseas. Japan is a first world country, guys. So again, I would not worry about that so much if I were you. For ladies, I would suggest that you do buy at least 2 or more bras that are really good, that fit properly. Get fitted. Do not buy a bra because it's cute and it's too small. You should not be wearing a size 3X and think that you're a 36D. More than likely, something's going wrong. You probably wear a much bigger band size than that. So that's that. I'm trying to get into argument with you girls. I'm just saying, you want to get properly fitted, and I would invest in buying some nice bras. I would go for like some Victoria's Secret expensive type stuff. Find something that's comfortable that you can wear with both your casual clothes and with your business attire that isn't going to hurt you or jab and stab you, etc. It doesn't have to be a super expensive bra if you can't afford it, but I would suggest something that can last a long time if I were you. While Japan doesn't normally get that cold, it most certainly can get chilly, especially when you consider the fact that you're not going to be spending your time in a heated car, but rather you will be walking, standing on cold platforms, and possibly inside of trains that could be a lot warmer than what they are. You are going to want to bring a nice winter coat, something that fits you properly. You might find it difficult to find a jacket that fits you all over. It might fit around your arms, but not around your waist. It might fit around your waist, but not around your bust. So yeah, you really want to make sure you have a properly fitting winter coat. Don't bring no really big Chicago style winter coat like how I did, unless you're planning to go to Hokkaido. Instead, you want to bring a small, lightweight winter jacket that's warm enough to keep you from freezing to death, but not super warm where you're going to be sweating outside because your jacket is way too heavy. It's not that cold. So bring something that's just a small, light winter jacket. You can buy winter coats and whatnot here in Japan, so don't worry, but you will have limited options for what you can purchase here, especially if you are a bigger and a taller person. I would also suggest bringing 2 pairs of dress shoes and 1 pair of casual running shoes. I strongly suggest buying a pair of Nike and or Adidas running shoes. I personally like Nike better. And I would also buy a pair of dress shoes. I would buy a pair of foldable flats so you can put inside of your bag if you are a lady. And I would buy a pair of heels that are no more than about 2 inches high. They have really good, nice, cheap heels you can buy here in Japan. But again, if you have very big and very wide feet, or your feet, you know, they hurt or feel pain easily, I would suggest bringing at least 1 pair of heels that are, you know, neutral color like black, that can be switched around and worn with different outfits, etc., whether you want it to be business casual or business. That's pretty much all you need as far as clothing goes. So winter coat, 2 outfits you can switch around, pants, skirt, etc. for ladies. For work, you want to bring 2 to 5 different casual outfits, so short sleeve shirts only. I would not buy anything long sleeve. I will wait until I come to Japan for that. If you must bring something long sleeve, only bring 1. Japanese people generally don't like the cold, so if you're inside anywhere, they're gonna have the heat on and you're gonna feel hot if you're wearing long sleeves or a big old sweater, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. Just buy short sleeve stuff, things that you can layer, mix and match, switch around. You can buy more clothes after you actually get here. As far as jeans go, that's totally up to you. I personally don't really wear jeans too often. I'm more of a jeggings or leggings type person. You shouldn't wear them here, but I do, just being honest. You can buy these things at Uniqlo, like how I do, but again, you can pretty much get this type of stuff anywhere here. You don't have to settle on those stores. Their store is super cheap, comparable to Old Navy. Stuff ranges in there from like $10 to $30. But if you must, yes, I would suggest buying maybe 1 to 2 pairs of jeans from the US. Again, different colors, get neutral colors like gray, black, etc. Where you can mix and match stuff, make it business, make it casual, make it dressy, whatever the case is that you're trying to do. You, of course, should also be bringing a cell phone and or a camera if you can from home. But again, both of these things are not necessarily needs. I would say a phone is a need and it kind of acts as 2-in-1. So really, if you have a nice upgraded cell phone, you don't need a camera. You can buy a camera once you come to Japan. But if you're someone like me that wants to take videos and pictures along the way, I would suggest bringing a nice digital camera alongside with me so I could take better quality and, you know, photos and videos without relying on just my cell phone. So those are all the things that you really need to pack when coming to Japan. I would not bring any toiletries. As far as makeup goes, the reason why I say no to toiletries is, again, Japan's a first world country. You can buy all of your toiletries here in Japan. There will be different brands, different products, etc. but there's something here for everyone. Even if you have, you know, afro type hair, even if your hair is coarse, if your hair is fine, they have products for everything. You might have to do a little bit of searching. You might have to switch to using more organic or things that are a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it. I think it's stupid to bring hair products from your home country because you're not going to be able to consistently use these things. You're going to run out of it. So in my opinion, you might as well just use what you can here. And if you really, really, really desperately need something, buy it online and ship it over to Japan from the US or whatever country you happen to be from. As for makeup, I wouldn't really worry about this if your skin is on the paler side, although this might apply to you as well, but more so for girls that have dark skin like myself. If you happen to be a couple of shades lighter than me, or several shades darker than me, or my shade, I would strongly suggest bringing makeup from your home country. This is something else that you are going to have to do one of two things. Either you will be like me and settle on using the few different makeups that few different foundations, makeup, colors, whatever, that you can here in Japan, mix and match things to make it work out for you, or you are going to come to terms with the fact that you are going to have to buy your makeup from overseas and have it shipped to you here in Japan by either yourself or your family, which I kind of switch between doing all three of these things personally. So makeup is pretty important. You are going to need to buy your own concealer and your own foundation. Unless you happen to be the exact same shade as me or a little bit lighter than me, you can buy makeup here, but your options are super limited to pretty much only being at drugstores and select. There's like an announcement thing going on outside, so sorry. And you know, select more expensive over-the-counter type designer like makeup stores, etc., that you can find at the mall here. So again, don't overbuy anything, even makeup, because you're wasting and taking up space. I would personally mostly try to bring the things that you really, really love in your home country, like your favorite books, your favorite magazines, your favorite plushie, whatever the case is, the things that will make you feel at home, than stuffing your bag with clothes and toiletries, etc. Because you're literally paying a super expensive ticket for crap you're never going to use, never going to wear, and or this you're going to run out of. So if you're only going to be here for a short period of time, then fine. I would say stock up more on toiletries that you really love then, because you most certainly can pack enough toiletries to last you for an entire year. I did that and I regretted it because I'm still living in Japan. But if I were only going to be here for a year, then I would have seen it as technically worth it because, again, I have the space to do that. But also keep in mind that for things that you don't use, you have to decide, are you going to be okay with giving these things away for free or trying to sell them, etc.? Because more than likely, if you're only staying in Japan for a year or two, you're going to want to come home with a ton of souvenirs. Although, of course, you can ship boxes home so that this way you don't have to pay extra for luggage or carry these things around with yourself through the airport. So I think that's that. I pretty much covered all the bases. Again, Japan's a first world country. You don't need to bring food or toiletries, etc. I made a video about gifts, but again, speaking of gifts, I didn't talk about that in this video. Japanese people like food. You can buy literally any type of candy that has your home country or city's name on it that's nicely wrapped by the staff or by like a little gift bag. Give it to them just as is. Don't overthink it. They don't want knickknacks from your home country. They want food. I promise you. Preferably something sweet, some type of candy, something unique to your country, or something that has your city's name on it, the American flag. I'm from Chicago, so I can go to Dylan's Candy Bar and I can buy a candy bar that has Navy Pier on it, something like that. That's what I would personally bring. But to be totally honest, they're not expecting a gift from you. They know you're a foreigner and that that's a Japanese tradition and culture type thing. So if you don't have the money, don't have the space, do not do it. Do not waste $50 worth of space on a $200 gift for people that don't give a crap about you. I'm just being real. So that's that. As far as makeup goes, again, only buy what you need to get started if you're planning to be here for a while. If you will be here for a year and you know that for a fact, then of course, by all means, I would strongly suggest bringing enough foundation and enough concealer to last you for that year. Maybe you need, I don't know how much you go through, I would say maybe 3 or 4 different containers of these things. You don't need to bring things like your brushes. You don't need to bring things like your favorite lipstick, gloss, whatever. You can find replacements of these items once you get here to Japan. You don't need to bring a makeup bag. Literally anything you can do to save space, do it. As for things like towels go, I would bring no more than 1 set of towels, and to be totally honest, I would only bring 1 large towel and 1 medium-sized towel. I think that's all you need. You can buy cheap towels at the dollar store. Your place might even come with them. It's definitely not a need for you to have with you on hand. I would also Personally, you can pick and choose. You can bring a pair of house shoes if you want to, but to be honest, once again, this can be bought at the dollar store or any other home store here in Japan. It's optional. You can bring it if you have space and you really want to. You really love your house shoes from home. I would suggest that you come to Japan with clean socks. And going back to shoes for a second, I would choose a pair of running shoes that you can easily, take off, put back on. I have the little Velcro stitchy shoes from Nike. I have LeBron Soldier shoes. I personally pretty much stopped wearing my normal Jordans. Mind you, I bought pretty much all of my shoes are from Japan with the exception of my UGG boots, which they do have a UGG store here, might I add. But everything else, and those I slip off too, but they're a little bit difficult to take off and put on. But anyway, you want something that you can easily, take off and put back on. You'll constantly be taking on and off shoes. Your sock might come off, whatever the case might be. So you want to buy yourself a really nice pair of socks that are durable, that are clean. I personally like to wear no-show socks so that I can wear them with different types of and styles of shoes, and preferably socks that are really thin, feel like they're not there. But to be totally honest, again, you don't need to buy a gazillion pairs of socks. You can buy, really the best socks in my opinion come from the convenience store. I like buying the ladies like no-show socks that are made to wear with flats and heels. So those are my favorite because it feels like I'm not wearing socks. If you want thicker, more comfortable socks, you can go to the dollar store. You can go to pretty much any store and buy these things. So they're not really needs, but again, I would come to Japan with a couple of pairs so you don't have to worry about freaking out and trying to find these things. As for toiletries, I would bring nothing because your hotel is going to have them, your host family is going to already have these things, and if for some reason there's none of this stuff there, literally no matter where you're staying, there's going to be a 7-Eleven around the corner, a Daiso around the corner. You can buy these things to get you started once you get here. If you're not hurting for space and you have tons of space and you're one of those over preparer packers or whatever, you freak out like how I do, then fine, go ahead. You can pack and bring toiletries and this, that, and the other. But I wouldn't suggest bringing more than travel sized items. I would not bring big containers of stuff because you're gonna run out or you're not going to use it at all, and it's gonna be wasted space that you could have used for something else that you really love and wanted to bring here to Japan. So that's that. This list can go on forever. Long story short, don't overpack. You don't need a lot of stuff. Everything you need you can find here in Japan, and or a lot of the stuff you think you need you're never going to wear, never going to use, because it's going to be deemed as weird, stinky, strange, nasty. Keep in mind a few more tips. Again, Japanese people don't normally wear like graphic t-shirts, etc. They don't wear cologne, so you might want to leave behind strong perfumes, strong lotions, etc. Leave it. And anything that you bring with you, my final thing, you want it to be modest clothing. Ladies, you should not be wearing plunge shirts and v-necks and things that show your cleavage, your boobs, etc. Do not be fooled by what I wear on Instagram and what I have on at home. These are not outfits that you want to wear out on the street unless you're going to the club and you want dudes to be hitting on you and you want to look like a whore. If you're okay with that, then by all means, do what you want to do, but you're going to be standing out like a sore thumb. It's not acceptable or appropriate here in Japan, and unfortunately, as the minority, if you're black, you already know how this goes, you are going to be judged much harsher than your Japanese counterparts. I see Asian girls, Korean, Chinese, etc. wear booty shorts all the time on the train with long t-shirts. Anytime I see a white girl wear like a bralette or anything like that, everybody freaks out like, oh my god, this whore. So once again, not gonna get into that, not trying to start a race war. I'm letting you guys know how it really does work here and letting you know what is culturally acceptable. You should be dressing modest. Modest does not just mean that, your breasts aren't showing. That also means that your knees preferably aren't showing, and if they are, it should hit right at the knee, and your dress should not be coming all the way up to your pussy. If it does, it's not modest. It also shouldn't be super tight. Bodycons are not modest. So that's that. I would try to bring as few outfits as possible, no more than 10, preferably something like 6 to 8 outfits. You want pieces that you can switch around throughout the seasons so that you don't have to buy clothes right now or even within your first year. The shorter amount of time you're planning to stay in Japan, the less things you should be packing, because you want to have the time and the money and the space to buy and bring home things that you purchased in Japan. Don't worry if you're big and or tall. Remember, first world country, Japan has the internet, people. You can buy stuff online, and there are plus size clothing stores here too. I keep saying I'm going to do a video on this. I promise you I will. But I believe I've already done a blog post, but of course some things have changed. For example, there's no longer Forever 21 in Japan. They closed down, guys, in case you didn't already know that. So that's that. I hope this helped you. If you have any specific questions, you need advice for packing in Japan, please leave a comment down below. Hopefully I or someone else can help you out, give their own advice and 2 cents. Maybe there's some things I suggested to bring that you don't think you should bring, or vice versa. Maybe I missed something that you should bring. So as always, I'd appreciate it if you would like this video, leave a comment, and if you would follow me on my Instagram and Twitter account, I would also greatly appreciate that. And if you would add me on Snapchat and like my Facebook page as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck on your trip here. Please don't overthink, please don't overpack, and enjoy your stay in Japan.